Hi, my sweet friends. We're gonna do that sheet pan dinner that I had prepped for in the earlier pictures I posted on my page this morning. So if you paid attention to that, you can look at those things and you'll know that I had on there baby new potatoes. I had carrots that I had washed and cut fairly small. And I also had some celery that I cut into chunks. I have cabbage. This is a fourth of a head of cabbage that I have chopped, and it's all prepped. You know, as I showed you, these are Italian sausages that are pre-cooked and they're semi-frozen on purpose. So those are the things that I had set out on my sheet today, and the cookie sheet, and I'm going to do a sheet pan dinner for you. So right now, what I have on here, my parchment paper, I have on my new potatoes, my carrots, and my celery, because they're actually going to go into the oven first and cook for about 12 minutes before I add the other things. 12 to 15 minutes, depending. But at least 12 minutes, I'm putting them on before I put on the cabbage and the sausages. Now, I made a dressing, because you can't make a sheet pan dinner without something good. This is my homemade dressing. If you do not want to make homemade dressing, let me suggest this. Use your favorite Italian or creamy type of dressing that is savory. I don't recommend anything sweet on this particular dish because it has enough essence of its own when we're finished. So, staying with the fact that I have Italian sausages, I have used and made my homemade Italian dressing. I'll show you what I used. I do it differently many times, but I'll show you what's in this one, okay? I have Daniel's Original. I have extra virgin olive oil, good olive oil. I have red wine vinegar. This is organic. You don't have to use that. I have an oregano, basil, and tomato salt-free herb mix. Just use a good herb mix, salt-free, no matter what you do. All right? Use that in your dressing. I use sun-dried tomato oil. I took some of the oil from the sun-dried tomatoes. I used fresh lemon juice, cracked pepper, dried parsley, and I already told you the Daniel's Original. That is what I have in this, and 1 clove of sliced fresh garlic. I have beat this and beat this, and I've poured a third of it over my vegetables that I have here that are going into my 425 degree oven for about 12 minutes. We'll do it the next step. All right, our vegetables are in the oven still. I'm cooking those for their 10 to 12 minutes. You know I put the dressing on. I told you about a third. I have this dressing left. To this dressing now, we're going to add 1/2 cup of freshly grated Parmesan cheese, real Parmesan cheese, the best that you can get, the best you can afford, the one you love the most, whatever it is. We're going to just put that in there, shake it up for a minute. We're going to let it set now, because when our vegetables are done and when we add our chopped cabbage and our semi-frozen Italian sausages, which I will chunk, we're going to add the rest of this amazing dressing. If you have a bottled dressing, Italian or creamy type that you love, just get some fresh Parmesan cheese, grate it finely, put it in that shaker, okay? You can add a little bit of Daniel's, which has such a workhorse effect on almost everything you make. You can add some of these oregano, tomato spices with herbs. Just add the fresh stuff. Make it semi-homemade. It's okay. But you want the flavor and texture of this dressing to just get into these vegetables. When you put it on your plate, it's a pop. So we're gonna do it together. Okay, sweet friends, we've got our carrots, potatoes, and celery out of the oven. They have roasted for 12 minutes. And remember, we coated them in a good portion of this homemade dressing. I wanted to tell you, don't worry about the proportions of what I told you I used in my dressing. Go to Google, look at a good vinaigrette, proportion it accordingly. Use what I showed you, use what you love. You can also use just a package of good Italian seasoning mix and make your own dressing. You can add special things to it like extra garlic. You can add extra Parmesan cheese. Now, if you remember, we added that not quite half cup of freshly grated parm to this dressing. Now we're going to add some other goodies. We're going to add our cabbage. Just going to sprinkle it right over the top, just like so. There's quite a bit of cabbage in here. Doesn't look like much, but I did because we love it. It's good for us. I have some roasted garlic that's going to be roasted. It's just whole garlic. Cloves that I've put on there. And we're going to add our sausages. All right, now these are pre-cooked chicken Italian sausages, but they're semi-frozen so that they don't get overcooked when we do this. Now, we have our dressing, the rest of our dressing ready. My oven is still on. We just add our goodness, Parmesan and all. Just like that. We're just going to toss. Now remember, these are hot vegetables, cold meat. But our potatoes and our carrots and our celery got a beautiful head start. This Parmesan and this Italian dressing are going to blend with all of these vegetables and the meat. And you are going to have one amazing dinner. Let me suggest to you, if you think this is not enough meat, it is for us, especially for Darlin Hubbs and I with all these vegetables. But you can take this and do over noodles, serve it over noodles. All right? A wonderful, wonderful way to get everything into one delightful dish. So we have everything beautifully mixed, and that's what we want. Remember, you want everyone, my motto, to get something good in every single bite. So don't be afraid to mix it. Of course, I have a glove on because I don't want to get all messy. Hopefully I can miss my shirt. But what we won't miss is an incredible meal. So let's get this back in our oven. Get it finished off until the cabbage is tender and the meat is hot. And I can send Darlin Hubbs off to work with something wonderful, okay? So, you get this off my hand. Let me lift it up to you so you can get a better view. And then we'll stick it back in the oven until this is completely done. If you could smell this, you would be amazed. Don't skimp on those seasonings, my friends. We'll be back in a minute. All right, my beautiful friends, it's done. Let me show you. Let me stir it up a little bit. Everything is tender, smells amazing. The dressing has saturated everything just like we wanted. Can't tell you how good this is gonna be. Here you go. Can you see that? It has everything you could ask for. Texture, flavor, protein, vegetables, a delicious sauce. And again, you can have this just like it is in a bowl. You can serve it over rice. You can serve it over noodles. You can just eat it plain out of this like we do. But no matter what you do, make it, share it. It's love to me, and I appreciate it. So enjoy, my friends. Make it yours. Add whatever meats you want, kielbasa. You can add pork chops. You could add chicken thighs. Do your own thing. Just make it flavorful. Kitchen and mitten, a springboard. That's all we are. Love you.